Hey, what's going on, guys? So today in this video, I just wanted to share with you probably my best stripe production so far. Still under 2 months old, but I have really high hopes for it. So I'll break down basically the lineage genetics behind it, so that way it'll help you get a better idea of maybe some things that you want to look for when you're looking to breeding your gargoyles. And also, I will break down the different things about the looks on that gecko to show you guys why I think it will be my best production so far. And also I want to touch on next video I'll be doing, I have this papaya here that I purchased. I'm just waiting for it to get a little bit more ripe. I've already done a video with banana and with plum, but just basically shooting these videos, feeding the geckos basically what that we're feeding them with their powder diets, and just seeing how they react to the actual fruits in their natural form. So I'll be looking forward to testing that out probably this weekend, but I'll get right into it. So this gecko's lineage, it comes from two different breeders, and this is his parents. So on my end, the parents to it is Magma, which you can see here, and then the other parent is Sakura, which you can see here. That's the mom. And basically these two have some strong genetics behind them, which is one of the reasons that I wanted to pair them up, because I knew their history. So Magma is from Tiki's Geckos, from his Deadpool, Scarlett Johansson, which those two right there have produced some really amazing stripes and super stripes in the past from his collection. I think Deadpool and Scarlett Johansson, in my opinion, has produced his best super stripe geckos when it's those two combined together. So that's where the one side of the lineage comes from. The other side for the mom is from Rack House, and this is from his group 3 pairing. And the reason this is one that I chose for Magma is because the group 3 pairing in Rack House has been, many years of refining super stripes. Basically, he has Paul from Rack House has a ton of different groups of geckos that he will breed for specific traits, down to even things like the eye color. He has a bunch of different groups that will be specifically put together for different traits. Group 3 just happens to be his super stripe group that I first owned an animal from that group back in 2016. And even back then, it's had a really long history. He was breeding like really amazing super stripes from that group. And this female is from 2018, is when she was hatched out from that group as well. So that actually even gave it some more time to keep refining those genetics more and more. So that's why I picked these two to pair them. And that's one of the things, if you watch the last video, that I'm looking for when I'm going to purchase both of these geckos, is I want to know as much info about their lineage as possible, because the stronger the lineage, the stronger the parents are, and the stronger that they've, their siblings and their offspring have been, the stronger when I put these two together that their offspring will be. So that's why I was really excited for these. Now, I also do, though, still have 2 more eggs, and I've already hatched 2 from this pair. So I'm going to basically, within the next 2 weeks, the other 2 eggs will hatch, which is going to be the real, tell if this is going to be consistent group. That way I know exactly if I'm going to pair them again this year regardless. However, if I get, these 2 more eggs and see how they hatch out, and if their quality's equally as nice or even better, then that's exactly what you're looking for. And that's exactly what, someone else would be looking for to purchase from. You see those consistent siblings, those consistent babies, plus from really strong lineage. That's only going to mean whenever you go to breed it one day, if you got one of those babies, then you will be able to produce some really nice geckos as well. So in the next few weeks is really going to be able to tell how consistent this pairing is going to be. And regardless, I'll be keeping them together for this year as well. Now, this gecko was hatched on November 28th, so it's still under 2 months old. It's about 50 days old now. So there's still a ton of development and a ton of, time to keep going. But with basically 2 months in, and by the looks of it, I can already tell it's going to be my best production. And personally, I think it's going to be better than Magma and better than the Mom Sakura. So that's why I'm really looking forward to this. This is one that I'm going to be holding back unless the other two eggs happen to be nicer, then I would be potentially looking to sell this baby as well. Alright guys, so here is the baby. And I'll be cutting the pictures throughout, just the highlights and the other details about it. Just because, this iPhone camera really doesn't pick up everything on it. So when you use like an actual camera, I've noticed it does a much better job of picking up the color and all the pigmentation, everything in these. So starting off the bat, right off the bat, I'm just gonna go from nose to tail. So one of the things that I like is lipstick on a Gargoyle Gecko, and it doesn't necessarily make it worth more than others, but I just think aesthetically it's really cool to see. And keep in mind guys, this is only about just under 60 days old size wise. You see my hand, still a really small gecko and has a lot of growing to do. But right off the bat, you can see some of the color on its lip, a little bit on that side of the eyeball that's coming forward onto the face, and it's the same thing on the other side too, which I'll cut to. But right off the bat, that's something I really liked and noticed that it had right out of the egg. Going to the top of the head, you see some of that color on top of its eyes, which people will say that eyebrow color. Now this one doesn't have a ton, however, it's another thing that I like looking at. And again, I don't think eyebrow color like this is necessarily something that, is going to increase the value substantially. However, it is something that I think if people continue to breed for it on top of the rest of the body, that it can really produce some unique looking animals. So that's something I'm looking forward to see also if the other babies have that as well. So eyebrow color, you can see some of the color pigments come up from the back of its head onto the top of its head, and then coming around to the side. So you see some of that color. Try to move the light a little bit. So you see those side laterals with that orange color. Chances are, guys, all this orange is going to turn to red as well. One of the biggest areas that I find that really ends up filling in as they get older is that lateral color. So although right now it's not, like 100% solid on the sides, I do believe that as it gets older, it will become a fully solid animal with that lateral color. Going on to the back, one of my favorite looks for the gargoyles is the center dorsal stripe and the outer dorsal stripe when they connect like this. And there's no distinguishing between them. It makes it look really cool when they get bigger, just because all that orange is eventually 9 times out of 10, it's going to turn out to red. So this is what people would consider, sometimes you see them say they have bacon on their backs. And bacon is actually a full separate line. It's not necessarily, in my opinion, a trait. It's more of a line that was bred by South Tex Gex. But anyways, not getting off topic. This right here, I think it's going to look really nice when it's an adult, because you're going to see a fully solid, dorsal stripes. There's not going to be any break in between them. And this is something too that sometimes with geckos, as they get older, they might not be born connected like this, but as they get older, they'll connect over time just because color spreads. So when it's, oh, I hit it and scared it. When it's already born like that with it connected, you just know it's going to be really nice as an adult. The next thing that really intrigued me about this, just because of Magma, the thing about him is that full back that he has, where there's really no like blank space in the middle going down its back. Now, the one thing about Magma is he developed that over time. He was not born with it. He looked like a normal stripe when he was born, and over time the development closed in over the back, and I have a strong feeling that this will do the same thing. But the thing that really got me excited is, as you can see, if we move down to right here, it was already born with color that had connected right there. So that's why it leads me to believe that this is going to do the same thing. Plus, eventually, when I breed this one or any of its siblings, I'm hoping to just refine that, where eventually you're just going to have a gargoyle that, is going to have eyebrow color. For stripes, it's going to have eyebrow color. It's going to have full laterals. It's going to have a full back. And it's going to be born with the color already connecting. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. And then going down the tail, which is just a plus for me. Right now, it doesn't look like much. However, that's all color down its tail. So as it gets older, again, that's all going to turn into red, and it's going to be fully colored down the tail with not much open space at all in there, which is just something that I really like. Tails aren't the most important thing because they do drop them, but it's just an indicator that the animal has stronger, color genetics in his body. And then I'm going to see if I can't flip it around. I'm still unsure of sex, but there you go. You can see on this side as well. Oh, it's doing a little jumping. You can see on this side as well the lateral color. And again, this is something that it's kind of splotchy right now, but I do believe as it gets older, that will fill in too. So with this being under 60 days old, having this much color, remember when they're young, this isn't their final, coloration. It develops and increases over time along with the color and the brightness. So with all of those traits on this one at a super young age, that's why I'm considering this the best stripe that I've produced so far, and it's only going to get better. You can really never know the potential of the baby until it is, pretty much between 30 to 40 grams. Just because there might be one out there that I produce that doesn't look as nice as this one, but still sometimes they can develop even way more intense. So I just wanted to share that with you guys and kind of the things that I'm looking for on these geckos, just to figure out, for my goals and stuff, where I want to take them. So this is why this has been the nicest one I've produced. And how I said earlier, I think it's going to be better than its dad and its mom. Pretty much without a doubt in my mind. Look at that shot right there. Look in its eyeballs. So guys, there you have it. The nicest production so far for stripes, which, the goal is always to keep pushing, keep improving, and eventually produce something nicer than that in the future. I could do a blotch one as well. However, I think especially this year for stripes and blotches, both of them potentially may get blown out of the water for that. So stay tuned if you guys want to watch the development of that. Definitely follow me on Instagram at RedRack, where I'm going to be posting pictures and everything. And you never know, eventually, if I do hatch out some nicer ones and want to let that one go, that's probably where I'll be posting it as well. And this week's shout out is gonna go to koalas, geckos. So this person I've purchased an animal before from, however, a lot of back and forth conversations, just talking about stuff. Plus, I do think, he's been acquiring a decent amount of chihuahuas and lychee geckos that are going to be some really amazing breeders, and he's going to be producing some really high quality animals. So definitely go give him a follow. I think he's a good person. But yeah, I just wanted to say thanks to everyone for watching and for the support, for subscribing, for liking the videos, doing all that. It really means a ton to me. But definitely make sure, if you do want to connect, follow me on the social medias, Facebook, which is Red Rack, Instagram, which is Red Rack as well. And don't ever hesitate to reach out if you do have any questions or need any help with anything as well. Thanks again, guys, and stay tuned. Remember, next one, I'll be feeding some papaya.